Hey guys, what's going on? Bearded1 here. Just a little note before we start today's video. Usually there will be a podcast going up today because it is Wednesday. Unfortunately, there will be no episode of Beard Banter this week, mainly because of scheduling difficulties with Bones. She's been out busy doing whatever the fuck she's doing for the past few days, so she's not home right now. She's not currently free in order to record an episode. So, because of that, there will be no episode of the podcast this week. The podcast will resume next Wednesday, as it always does. But I didn't want to leave you guys hanging without anything special in terms of videos today. So, instead of a podcast, we're going to be having something special going up on the channel today, which if you guys read the fucking title of the video, you already know what it is. So yeah, just a little note before we get started. This video is replacing the podcast this week. Beer Banter will continue next Wednesday, and everything will be good. But until next week, please enjoy this video instead of a podcast today. So, see you later. Keep on gaming. Sorry for the vlog type thing, but like this is really last minute. But you guys can see my desk. Look at my fucking desk. It's all like nerdy and shit. And there's my laptop. That's where I render and edit shit. Anyway, enjoy today's video, guys. We'll see you next week for a podcast.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to BGN. I am the Bearded One, and today I am going to be doing the 8th installment, I believe, of my gaming purchases showcase. Now, if any of you are not aware of this series is basically where I show you guys all of the games or gaming related items that I've purchased since the last episode. And it's been quite a long time since the last episode. I believe that was almost 2 years ago now. So we've got a lot of catching up to do. So yeah, welcome back to the Gaming Purchases Showcase. It's good to be back. I'm glad that I'm going to be doing this series again because it has been a lot of fun in the past. But we're going to do things a little differently on this installment. Now, if any of you aren't aware with the show format, basically I show you guys all the games or gaming related items that I've bought since the last episode. But seeing as how the last episode was 2 years ago, and in the span of those 2 years I've gotten 2 new consoles, that would take a little bit of time. That would take quite a while to get through. So instead of showing you every single game I've gotten since the last episode 2 years ago, I'm only going to be showing you guys the new games or gaming related items I have purchased since our gaming collection video back in August. If you missed it, link will be in the description, check it out. We did a gaming collection video for BGN's 4th anniversary about a month ago, back in mid-August. And we showed you guys every single game that we own. So, instead of covering every game I've gotten in the past 2 years since episode 7, I'm going to be showing you guys just the games that I've bought since the collection video we did about a month ago. So, it's not a whole lot. There's only about 9 games here. So, we should be... This shouldn't take long. But then again, I do like to talk a lot, so I guess we'll see. But yeah, without further ado, let's get things started. So, if you guys aren't aware, the way I do the show now is I introduce the game, I show you a close-up of the cover, and then I'll have a nice little window of gameplay over here just to show you some nice footage from the game itself while I talk about it. But you can also see my beautiful mug as I ramble on. Alrighty, first up we have Dark Souls 3. Oh, I hate my life. Oh, someone help. So yeah, Dark Souls 3. What is there to say about this game that hasn't already been said? Fuck this game. Like, I've talked about it before in different videos on the channel. But I love Dark Souls. Like, I don't know what it is about the Dark Souls series that just keeps me going back for more. Maybe it's wanting to overcome the challenge finally and get that feeling of satisfaction at the end when I finally get through the area. Maybe it's the interesting medieval world that the universe is set in. Maybe it's the graphical design, maybe it's the gameplay, maybe it's the sound design. It's something. I don't know what it is about these fucking games that keeps me going back for more torture, but I love them, and I love this game just as much as the other ones. I have to say though, this one was kind of disappointing on a technical level for me, because this is the first one that was built from the ground up for next gen. However, I don't know about the PS4 version, but at least the Xbox One version doesn't look much better than Dark Souls 2. Like, sure, there's more detail and it's more realized, but in terms of overall performance, it's actually worse than the Xbox One port of Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin, runs in 60 frames. This game only runs in 30 frames. You know, I would think the game that was built from the ground up for the newest generation of consoles would be able to hit that 60 frame quota, but apparently not. So yeah, in terms of a technical standpoint, the game was kind of disappointing, but in terms of everything else, it's the same Dark Souls experience I've been having for years now. It's frustrating as fuck, but it keeps me coming back for more, and hopefully I can finally get through that goddamn area and find a fucking bonfire. Like, seriously, I need a fucking bonfire in my life for once. So yeah, Dark Souls 3, just as good as any other Dark Souls game. If you're, oh, hi Dexter. How's it going? How's it going, little bud? If you're a fan of the Dark Souls series, I highly recommend you pick this up if you haven't yet. It's just more Dark Souls, man. You can't get enough of this shit.
Are you just gonna chill there? Are you just gonna chill there for the rest of the video? Are you just gonna chill there? Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy.
Unless you don't want to, but that's fine. Hi, buddy. Alrighty, now that Dexter is joining us for the rest of this video, it seems. Next up we have Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Now, I'll be honest, I've never played a Deus Ex game. Bones actually picked this one up because she played Human Revolution when that came out 5 years ago in 2011, and she loved it. So, she was really looking forward to picking this game up. Okay, bye, Dexter. Bones was really looking forward to this game. That's why she picked it up. Neither of us have played it yet, and I'll be honest, I haven't seen a single bit of gameplay from this game yet. I've heard about the game, obviously through the reviews and such, but I haven't actually seen any footage from the game. So I don't know how different it is from Human Revolution, what they changed, what they kept in. I'm not really sure. But I have heard a lot about this game, and when it came out, the reviews were overwhelmingly positive. One of the best reviewed games of 2016 so far. So yeah, I might play it. I should probably play Human Revolution first. But I might play this, and I know Bones is going to play it eventually. And we'll probably talk about it in a podcast soon. When she finally plays it, what she thinks of it. It looks promising, though. Alright, next up we have Doom. Now, don't be afraid. I don't have a defective copy or a special edition or anything. This game actually is one of the few games nowadays that actually has an alternate cover on the back of the slipcover that you can swap out. And it's fucking awesome. So yeah, let's talk about Doom. This game is metal as fuck. Like, holy shit. I mean, I was excited for this game because I know leading up to the release, there was that multiplayer beta that people said was not that great. And I know a lot of people weren't expecting much from this game. But then it finally dropped, and a lot of people's expectations were blown out of the water. Like, this game took almost everyone by surprise with just how good it actually was. Specifically the campaign. Now, I'm only 3 missions into the campaign as of this recording, but I gotta tell you, this game is fun as hell. Like, it's super fast-paced, super fluid, the gunplay is awesome. It's just classic Doom on a modern console. That's basically what it is. Like, literally, nothing has changed from the old Dooms, and it's been slightly updated with some modern first-person tropes, but like, there's no aiming down the sights, there's no sprinting, there's none of that shit. It's just aim and shoot, and that's exactly what the old Doom games were. This game is fucking awesome. It's fast, it's gory, it's over the top, it's everything I would have expected a new Doom game to be. And I think a lot of people were hoping that this is what Doom 3 was going to be like. Unfortunately, Doom 3 was more of like a survival horror kind of game from what I heard about it. But yeah, 2016 Doom is a return to form for the franchise. I can't get enough of it. If you like Doom, if you like the old Dooms, and you like shooting shit, I highly recommend this game. You will not go wrong. As of this recording, I haven't played the multiplayer or snap map, so I can't really say much about those. But I've heard that the multiplayer is still meh, and that snap map is an awesome creation tool. Snap map is basically a map creator. And from what I've heard, people have been making some really crazy shit with snap map. Like, I've heard that people have been making full remakes of Doom 1 and 2 in this game's map editor, which is freaking crazy. So yeah, 2016 Doom is the full package. If you like shooting shit and you like Doom, I highly recommend it. Next up, we have Just Cause 3. Now, when I got my Xbox One, and when this game was announced, I knew this was eventually one game that I definitely had to pick up. Now, I personally don't have that much experience in Just Cause. I used to have Just Cause 1 and 2. I still have Just Cause 2, but I got rid of Just Cause 1. But ironically, Just Cause 1 is the only Just Cause game I played up until this point. I still haven't gotten around to playing 2 yet, which is baffling because I've heard that Just Cause 2 is a fantastic game. But I digress. I knew that I wanted Just Cause 3 because it looked like the kind of game I would totally get into. Open world, chaotic, shoot shit up, go crazy, get creative with how you kill shit, and it has a wingsuit. Anyone who knows me knows that I am all for that kind of shit. So yeah, I knew I wanted Just Cause 3, and I just picked it up at a used price. It was pretty cheap. And what do I think of the game? It's pretty fucking good so far. Granted, I've only played like 2 hours of it at this point, but the wingsuit is exactly what I wanted it to be. I could just jump off a cliff and start flying and fly all across. Did I mention that I was sick? Well, I'm sick. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm sick. Yeah, this game's pretty cool. It's just what I expected it to be. Chaotic, open world, go crazy kind of game. It's like Far Cry or Grand Theft Auto, but in Mexico. As far as I'm aware. I have absolutely no idea what's going on in the story so far, but everything else I love so far. I love the gameplay, I love the mechanics like the grappling hook, the wingsuit, the parachute, all that shit's great. I love the creative ways in which you can destroy everything in the fucking game. I am enjoying the characters so far. The graphics are fantastic. Obviously, it's a great looking game. The performance, on the other hand, is not so great. I've gotten a lot of frame stuttering so far. It definitely dips below 30 frames quite often. But other than that, everything else about this game is great. I can't wait to go back and play more. And it's exactly what I expected, so it's a good purchase. Next up, we have Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Now, whoo boy! Okay, before we get to Phantom Pain, let's talk about Ground Zeroes for a bit, because I played Ground Zeroes literally yesterday to lead into this game, and that game's cool and all, but it's super fucking short. Like, I know there's a bunch of side missions after you beat the main mission, but still. If you didn't know about that shit when this game came out, they were charging $40 for that game. And the main storyline is literally 2 hours. I beat it in 2 hours. Like, what? Like, I enjoyed the game. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the game. The presentation was fantastic. The gameplay was pretty fun. The characters were fantastic, but 2 hours, man. Like, I understand there's side missions that add to the game, but if you're not one of those people who play side missions, than you paid $40 at release for a 2-hour game. That's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, I enjoyed the experience, don't get me wrong, but it's just something I had to mention. But I digress. We're not talking about Metal Gear Solid 5. We're talking about Metal Gear Solid 5. I know, that joke's never been made before. Let's talk about Phantom Pain. Oh boy, like, I've talked about this on the podcast before. I haven't really played that many Metal Gear games. The only real Metal Gear game I've played up until this point was MGS3, and I only played that for about 2 or 3 hours. So, in terms of actual legit Metal Gear, don't have a lot of experience. I played the shit out of Metal Gear Rising. I fucking love that game, but I know it's not actually a Metal Gear game. When it comes to the Solid series, I've only played 3, and not very long. So, I decided to pick this up because I heard overwhelmingly positive things when this game came out. I heard that this game was amazing. So I picked it up, I got Ground Zeroes for free because of Games with Gold, so I decided to play it. Game's actually fucking great. Like, I'm not even joking. The game is fucking fantastic so far. Specifically Phantom Pain we're talking about here. There's a big open world in Afghanistan that you can explore. There's a bunch of side missions. The characters are great to interact with. All the personalities in this game are spot on. I love Snake, I love Kaz, I love Ocelot. Every character in this game so far is pretty fucking great. I've only played this for about 3 hours, but so far I'm really enjoying my time with it. I literally just got to Mother Base, so I can't say much about Mother Base just yet, but from what I played in the actual open world, the game's great. It's very identical to the way that Ground Zeroes controlled. Same control scheme, same engine, just a little bit updated. So it controls perfectly fine. The gameplay is engaging and quite stressful, actually. It's quite intense sometimes because obviously we're talking about Metal Gear here. We're talking about stealth action. So you gotta be stealthy if you want to succeed. And I suck at stealth games for the most part. So getting a hang of this game was a bit of a learning curve, but once I did get the hang of it, it was a lot of fun. Probably the most fun I've had in a stealth game in years, probably since fucking Arkham Knight. And even then, only like a very small portion of that game is true stealth. But yeah, Phantom Pain, it's a great experience so far. I have absolutely no idea what's going on in the story just because it's fucking Metal Gear Solid 5. And I haven't really played any of the other ones to know what's been going on up until this point. So I'd have to say, I highly recommend it for fans of Metal Gear or stealth action games. However, if you're a Metal Gear newbie, this is definitely not a great starting point. Start with Metal Gear Solid 3, because that's technically the first game in the timeline. So if you're new to Metal Gear, skip this game, come back to it later, but still play it at some point because I highly recommend it. It's a great game so far. Right, next up we got our last Xbox One game on this installment of gaming purchases, Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Now, I was super hyped for this game. Like, when they announced it, I was fucking giddy because I played the original Mirror's Edge and I fucking loved it. I thought it was a breath of fresh air in an otherwise stale and oversaturated market of first-person games. Like, it seems like nowadays every first-person game tries to be the same thing. Call of Duty. And when Mirror's Edge came out, it tried to do something different. It tried to do something unique and original, and I really enjoyed it because of that. It was basically a first-person parkour game where you could run around and parkour around the city, and it was basically free running. And anyone who knows me knows I love like free-form movement shit like that. So Mirror's Edge was right up my alley, and I did very much enjoy the original, even though I found some of the controls and some of the mechanics were kinda clunky, but overall I really enjoyed it. So when they announced the sequel, Catalyst, I was super stoked for this game, and after a few delays, it finally came out, and I finally got a chance to pick it up. I played it for about 3 hours at this point, and I gotta say, I'm a big fan. I know when the game came out, there were a lot of mixed reviews. A lot of people said that the game was, it's okay. And so far, I don't understand why people think that is, because I'm having a ton of fun with it. When I envisioned a Mirror's Edge sequel, I was basically perfectly fine with more of the same thing, which is exactly what this game is, but then they add upon it. First off, the game is open world, which the original wasn't. You're basically free to explore the city and free run and parkour through this huge city looking for side missions and collectibles, and I think that's a great step in the right direction for Mirror's Edge. It's a great thing in terms of progression for the series because it keeps things fresh. It's not as linear as the first game, which I'm a huge fan of. The graphics are amazing, it looks stellar, the presentation is wonderful. The characters so far are kind of hit and miss. Some are great, some aren't. Then again, I'm only 3 hours in, so we'll just have to see. In terms of what there is to do in the open world, there's a lot to do. There's main missions, there's side quests, there's collectathons, there's collectibles scattered throughout the world that you can collect. There's different little races that you can take a part of, there's time trials, there's delivery missions. There's a lot of stuff to do in this game, which I am very happy about. But lastly, there's the gameplay. Now, for the most part, it's very, very similar to how the original played. But I feel like, I don't know what it is about this game, but I feel like this game controls better than the first. Like I said, I very much enjoyed the original game, but I found some of the mechanics and some of the controls were a little too clunky for their own good. In this game, though, I think it's a lot more fluid and a lot better designed. Like, I don't find myself getting frustrated because Faith wouldn't respond to the commands I was giving her. Like, she wouldn't run on that wall, or she wouldn't jump off that ledge, or, you know, something like that. I haven't found that frustration in this game like I did in the original, so I think they fine-tuned the controls so that they're a lot better. There are still a few little things that feel just a little bit clunky, but overall it's nothing to ruin the experience. So yeah, Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I don't understand why everyone thought this game was meh, because I fucking love it so far. Alrighty, now the last 3 games we have on this episode are 3DS games, and all of them are Bones. So I haven't played any of them. She has played all of them, so I can't give my personal opinions on them, but I'll try to talk to them about them as best I can. So first up for 3DS games, we have Fire Emblem Fates. This here is the Conquest version of the game. It was released in 2 separate versions, Conquest and Birthright. Bones decided to get the Conquest edition of the game. And also, apparently, if you go to your local GameStop or EB Games and you pick up a new copy of Fire Emblem Fates, regardless of what version it is, you can get a download code for the other version for half price, which is what Bones did. So she basically has the whole game in one package, which is very nice. Fire Emblem Fates. I've never been a fan of Fire Emblem. I've been a fan of the characters mainly because of Super Smash Bros. But I've never actually played any of the Fire Emblem games myself, just because I'm not that into real-time strategy. And neither was Bones, but when she played the Fire Emblem Awakening demo, she really enjoyed it. And lo and behold, she picked up Fire Emblem Fates. And Bones is a big fan of this game. Like, she's been obsessed with it. I think she played it for like 2 days straight. Picked it up on Friday. Well, whenever this video airs, she picked it up on a Friday, and she played it all the way through till a Sunday. So she played it for 2 days straight. She's a big fan of this game. She's really enjoying it. I can't really say anything about it just because I'm not a fan of strategy games, but Bones highly recommends it. So if you're into strategy games or you're just into Fire Emblem, pick up Fire Emblem Fates. It's a good purchase. Next up we have Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Now, I'm just gonna put this out there right now. Never played Luigi's Mansion before. Never played the original on the GameCube because I got my GameCube in 2007. And then 6 months after that I got a Wii. So, never played Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion is pretty rare nowadays, and it's pretty expensive when you actually do find a copy. So I've never actually played Luigi's Mansion before. Obviously, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, 3DS game, is a lot easier to find than the original. But I'm just putting that out there. Never played Luigi's Mansion before. And neither did Bones when she bought this game, but Luigi's Mansion has been something that's always been on our radar for years. Like, we've always wanted to play Luigi's Mansion, but we've just never gotten around to doing so. So Bones decided to pick up Dark Moon just to see what all the buzz about Luigi's Mansion was. And she said that this game's pretty good. She's enjoying it. She said that It's got more story than any Mario game could ever dream of having. She said it's very unique and very charming. She said that the mechanics of the game take a little time getting used to just because it's not a Mario game. So you kind of have to learn a whole new gameplay style for Luigi's Mansion because it's Luigi's Mansion. You're in a mansion, you're sucking up ghosts with a vacuum cleaner. This ain't your normal Mario, you don't go boop 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 jump doo 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 doo. Yeah, she said that the game took a little bit of time to get used to, but once she did get used to it, it was really fun. I haven't played it yet myself, so I can't say anything about it. But if you're a fan of Luigi's Mansion, from what Bones has told me, you should pick it up. It's 3 years old at this point. Obviously, it's a Nintendo Selects title, so you can get it for really cheap nowadays. If you're a fan of Luigi's Mansion, you haven't played it yet, go ahead and play it. It's definitely worth a try. And lastly, we have Zero Time Dilemma. Now, for those of you who aren't aware of this, this is the third and final installment of what is called the Zero Escape trilogy, which started back on the original DS with a little game called 999, if any of you are familiar with that. 999 was the original game in the trilogy, which eventually spawned a sequel on the 3DS called Virtue's Last Reward. And then, just this year, this final installment, Zero Time Dilemma, came out to wrap up the whole story. Apparently, from what Bones told me, this game wasn't even going to be made originally. The only reason this game was made was because it had a crowdfunding project behind it. So, it was crowdfunded, and that's why the game is actually a thing. Bones told me that if it wasn't for the crowdfunding campaign, that the developers wouldn't have even made the game. So, if any of you out there are a fan of the 999 games, then I guess you're pretty lucky. You're pretty lucky people. Now, I personally have never played any of these games before, so again, I can't say much about them. But from what Bones told me, from what she played last night, she said it's pretty damn good. She said that first off, she beat the game in like 20 minutes, not even, because of how many fucking different endings there are. She told me that there are apparently over 40 different endings to the game. There's like one true ending, 6 good endings, 10 like middle of the road endings, and like 24 something bad endings. So you can go about this game in any way you want. That's actually, even though I haven't played it, that's what I like about these games. The freedom of choice you have is astounding. Because when your game has over 40 different endings, you're doing something right there. And there's so many different ways you can go about the story, so many different twists and turns. And the game looks cool. Bones said it's really fun. But, I don't know. It's just never been my cup of tea, to put it lightly. So yeah, if you are a fan of the 999 games, go ahead and pick up Zero Time Dilemma, the final installment in the trilogy. I guess you'll like it. Hopefully you'll like it. I just can't really say much about it because I'm not really into these games. And with that said, that was the last game we have to show here on the 8th installment of the Gaming Purchases Showcase. Like we do at the end of every episode, I will briefly go over what games we showed in the episode again. So, from the beginning, Dark Souls 3, Deus Ex: Mankind Divided, Doom, Just Cause 3, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, Mirror's Edge: Catalyst, Fire Emblem Fates: Conquest, Luigi's Mansion: Dark Moon, Ooh. And finally, Zero Time Dilemma. Alrighty, with that said, we're gonna wrap up this installment of the Game Purchases Showcase. Thank you very much for watching. I'm glad to be back doing this Gaming Purchases show. It's been a lot of fun. This installment particularly was a lot of fun, just because it's been so long since I did the last one. It feels fresh in my mind to do it again. So, I hope to be continuing the series again in the future when I obviously get more games to show you guys. But until then, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you've seen, you can subscribe to BGN here on YouTube for a plethora of different gaming content. We have Let's Plays, podcasts, live streams, unboxings, vlog-style videos like this, etc. We do a lot of great gaming shit here, so I would very much appreciate it if you did subscribe to BGN, because I do put a lot of time and effort into my videos to make them the best that they can be. So yeah, we're gonna wrap things up here. Thank you very much for watching. I am the Bearded One, and I'm signing off. Keep on gaming, everyone.